Hi, you're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 98. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barnard, man with the 12th level intelligence. You don't believe me?
I believe you. Sure.
Yeah.
I got a bridge I can sell you too.
Mm-hmm.
You know how that goes. Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can check out our show plus plenty of other cool podcasts like All New Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, and Super Podcast of Magnifico at rhymeswithgeek.com. I also want to urge any listeners to please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you. So our book that we got today, this is so special. It's a 100-page super spectacular, Superman number 245, and the lead story is the team of Luthor and Brainiac.
This might be the best comic I've ever read.
Wow! This story or the?
This is story, yeah.
Yeah. It's wonderful.
Absolutely wonderful. I read some really good ones. I was thinking about Whatever Happened to Man of Tomorrow and how great that was.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit more serious, fantastic. But yeah. I don't know. This is for pure fun and not knowing where it's going to go and cleverness. This is awesome.
It's got all the best stuff about Superman in one story.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I mean.
Yeah, it's. I would. Maybe not the best story of all time, but I think it's the best of the Silver Age.
It's really awesome. And the team of Luthor and Brainiac is reprinted from Superman number 167. It was written by Edmund Hamilton, who wrote many classic Superman stories, and this being one of them, of course. Penciled by Curt Swan, inked by George Klein. So we're firing on all cylinders. It's the right time, it's the right creative team, and it's a terrific story.
Yeah.
Let's dig in.
All right. Luthor's in jail.
Surprise.
Hey, Superman. And he has this great plan. So he makes a balloon, he ties it to a wire, and during a thunderstorm.
Right.
And he ties it to both the bars of his room and the light socket. So when the lightning hits the balloon and the electricity comes down, it destroys the bars and destroys electricity in the prison. And I wonder if that would work. And that seems very plausible, very clever.
It's like Lex Luthor is an evil Ben Franklin.
Yeah. But I don't know. I thought it was fairly clever.
I liked it. It was fun.
And here comes more cleverness.
He has a secret lair.
That's underneath a
observatory
that he paid for. Honestly, what a cool thing.
Yeah. So in this Luthor secret lab, we also have his Hall of Heroes, and they're statues of Attila the Hun, Genghis Khan, Captain Kidd, and Al Capone.
Interesting. There's two conquerors and two thieves.
Yeah, I'm like, Luthor, to me, it's like he has already surpassed Al Capone.
And Captain Kidd, the only thing really cool he did was, he had a cool name. I mean, he's a decent pirate, I guess, and he's got this hidden treasure, supposedly, on this island. But Al Capone, the other mob bosses didn't like him because he was too flashy.
Yeah.
But Genghis Khan, greatest conqueror of all time.
What about Alexander?
Genghis Khan took more land mass than anybody else.
Okay.
Attila the Hun defeated the Romans, got defeated himself. I think he died on his wedding day of one of his many brides.
Oh yeah, I think I knew that. Yeah.
But I mean, those guys changed history, and Al Capone did not, and Captain Kidd
did not. Right. So the first two make sense, and the other two are like, really? Yeah. Like, why not Hitler? I mean, Luthor is evil.
No, he's not that evil. He's not Hitler evil.
Okay.
Although Genghis Khan he killed. It's one city, I think it may have been Babylon. Killed one of his couriers, and so he come in and killed everybody inside and burned it all to the ground.
Wow.
And you're talking about 3-4 500,000 people.
All right. Before you turn the page, there's this great panel of Luthor swearing revenge to destroy Superman.
Mm-hmm.
He looks so pissed and determined.
Yeah.
He's
We'll
got
hear
shaking
more
his
about that
fist.
later.
Yeah.
That is great. Yeah, he is mad. And he's got this room that he has these calendar pages up, and the days are marked out, and that's the time he spent in jail, which is kind of... So he had to get out of jail and then come back to his hidey hole and mark those out, which seems, I don't know, a little obsessive.
Yeah, but that's... Luthor's anything... You know, if he's anything, he is obsessive. He's obsessed with destroying Superman.
Yeah.
You know, so...
All these supervillains, that's their major downfall, is the obsessive hatred of the hero. If they didn't go after the hero, they probably would have been okay, because the hero can catch everybody.
Well, right. Even Superman. But, yeah. But that's a very good point, Jeff. So...
Oh, okay, so Superman sees a fire. There's a big radioactive tank that's going to blow up. So he takes it up into space, and it blows up.
Imagine that.
Yeah, putting radioactive stuff all over his costume.
Oh, and that allows Luthor to
Track him on
track
the radar.
him. And so Luthor's got this missile with the kryptonite warhead that he's going to launch at Superman.
Looking missile.
Yeah, it is.
And so Superman can't go against it because it's got kryptonite in it. So he just has a chase around the Earth 4 or 5 times, and it runs out of the juice. No, it heats up, and then it melts.
Yeah, as it's re-entering the atmosphere. So that's smart.
So Luthor says, "Hey, so Superman out-tricked me, so I need to get someone smarter." So he puts on this cool time space thought scanner. Man, I want one of those. That'd be great. I'll probably just use it looking in YWCA or something. So he discovers the history, the origin of Brainiac.
Yes, on the planet Kolu, although it's not named here, but that's what it is.
So the people of Kolu, I'll just use that.
The Koluans, yeah. But
sounds like a drink. So they invent this supercomputer, and the supercomputer takes over. So the supercomputers get all these people. They're just not enough. So we need to take over the universe. So let's make a robot spy. And so they make him green with things on his head, and it's Brainiac.
Yeah.
Yeah, spies are supposed to, fade in the background. You don't want a flashy spy. But
their spy is just, he looks humanoid, and they are robots, so I don't know.
Yeah, he's wearing a pink shirt.
Right.
With a collar. And these electrodes. And the things in his head actually do something.
Yeah.
They think, they're just mere red color ornaments, but they can't function without them because they're their sensory nerves.
So we also get the reveal of that Brainiac 2, the child that was adopted or was raised by Brainiac, is not, he was biological or whatever, and not any real relation to Brainiac.
He was not biological. He was a biological non-son of Brainiac.
Right.
So then why didn't he just change his name?
Well, I don't know, but Brainiac 2 is the ancestor of Brainiac 5 from the Legion of Superheroes. And that's
his name is Vril Dox, or is that?
Yeah.
Well, and we find out later that these supercomputers are torn down, and he's the one who does it.
Brainiac or Brainiac 5?
Brainiac 2.
That's right. So he has an important place in Koluan history and all that jazz. So, well, this is great. So Luthor has he's learned Brainiac's secret, and he says, okay, well, this is the guy. He's going to help me destroy Superman.
And we have the story of Kandor.
Yeah.
And which is really a great tragedy.
It bears repeating.
Yeah, it's really cool, and you always feel sorry for them, and Superman's always trying to help, and it's really...
Well, it's Superman's 2 great failures. He couldn't restore Kandor to its proper size, and he couldn't cure Mon-El of the lead poisoning.
Right.
And bring him out of the Phantom Zone.
Didn't they finally do both, or something?
actually less than a decade ago, they did a story called New Krypton, where Kandor was restored to its size on another planet. I think it might have been Mars or the Moon or something like that. And then of course in the Legion, I think Saturn Girl actually created a serum that would temporarily allow Mon-El to be like okay and come out of the Phantom Zone to help them for a little while. And then Brainiac 5 gave him, I believe, created a permanent cure. So, but did this story reveal like the specific purpose behind shrinking those cities? And
no, it didn't. I think the first thing it did. Wait a minute. Let's see. Oh, he's just going to shrink it, put it in the bottle, and take it back to the sample.
Okay. So, anyway.
Yeah, yeah, okay, as a question I got later on. So Luthor, this is the downfall of Superman.
Yeah.
Kind of a, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like Superman, but don't get me wrong, but that's just...
Yeah.
This is such a great story, folks.
Luthor creates from this mental image where he's able to create a duplicate of Brainiac's spaceship, and he flies to the planet where Superman has imprisoned Brainiac.
Cronus.
Yeah.
So there's these satellites, so that's with Superman's eyes on the planet.
Yeah.
So he gets this meteorite and hides behind him, which is kind of a cool idea.
Yeah, so he's undetected by these satellites. And then he lands on Cronus.
And he has to figure out how to get in there. And he gets trapped, but it's not him, it's his robot.
Right.
Which you gotta use more often.
Yeah, robot duplicates are always good. I just read a Legion story where he sends a robot into the future to fight the Legion. Of himself.
So he meets Brainiac. And so he tries to break through the bars and doesn't work. So they're going to use Superman's good nature against him. He starts a fire, and Superman has the gates open in case there's something dangerous.
Right.
Which is kind of really cool on Superman's part, but it's really mean and nasty on their part.
Right.
And Brainiac's ticked off that it didn't work. But then he said if he got out, he'd be still stuck on this planet.
Right.
So, alright, here's what I was going Brainiac is mad that Lex Luthor knows that he's a robot.
Right.
Who cares?
Right?
You know, you're either an alien or, you know.
But see, this is a big reveal. Nobody knew that Brainiac was an android until just now. Everyone thought he was an alien.
Oh, well, is this where...
Yeah.
I always knew that. Why did I think that?
Well, because you have read comics. You started reading comics after this.
Oh, alright. Pretty cool. Okay. Superman goes to his...
the Fortress of Solitude.
Oh, man, I love that. And he's using the key.
The big key. I love it. What I didn't get is he has to find out from, like, the people of Kandor are aware and alert him that Brainiac has escaped. Yeah, by the way, Luthor and Brainiac escaped that planet the same way Luthor got there. Right. They hid behind an asteroid. But if Superman built this elaborate prison for Brainiac on this other world, wouldn't he have set up like an alarm to like alert him just in the Fortress of Solitude?
Well, he does. That's what the satellites are for.
But no, he talks to the people of Kandor. They're the one that tell him.
Yeah. Well,
no, the Phantom Zone criminals do. They saw it because they could see everything. But he does talk to the Kandorians because it relates to them.
Yeah. I just love him, and he's all this super modernistic stuff, and he's got this headphones on that look like 1954.
Well, sure. It looks like, this is the time of the space race and the Cold War.
Yeah.
And so this looks like the high-tech gear that you'd see at, like, Houston. That's the same kind of headgear they would wear. So... Alright.
So, Luthor finds out, by watching it, that the supercomputers could have made him a 12th level intelligence instead of 10th level like he is now.
Right.
And they said, nah, we better not, because he'll take over. And So Luthor makes him 12th level intelligence, but he puts a timer. So the timer will knock him out at I don't know how long.
At certain intervals. So this is to make sure that Brainiac won't double cross him.
Mm-hmm.
It's so that he can kind of be in control. And it's pretty clever.
Yeah. How else can you do it? Yeah.
I mean, he's got Brainiac under his thumb here, but it's so rad to see them together.
Yeah.
It's always so cool. But I just love their ongoing association with each other throughout comics.
And they hate each other, and then it's.
But then they're friends, you know.
Yeah.
You know, their relationship is really an interesting one. So.
Okay. They make their ship look like an asteroid, which is kind of cool.
Right.
And they go to this planet to get.
They go to a different planet to get these elements they need to destroy Superman, take away his powers, something like that.
The ferocious tri-beast, and they have these animals that are look like boats, which is kind of cool. Then they go to the one world where Luthor is a hero.
Lexor. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's this girl who, Ardora, who really wants to marry him.
And she later would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So then they go by, what is it, Kolu or?
Yeah.
And they see that the supercomputers were wiped out, and there's this cool statue. I would like we ought to put this in Portland.
Yeah.
This supercomputer being crushed by a hand.
Right.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
So Brainiac's the last of the mighty computer minds.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty cool. And so Superman catches up with them,
but
but that was their plan all along.
He comes in and there's a serum. What is it? A serum?
There's a gas.
Yeah, gas, and knocks him out. And he gets knocked out with a punch from Lex.
Well, no, this gas takes away his powers.
Right.
And so they all, Lex and Brainiac, punch Superman out, which is great. And then Brainiac shrinks Superman, and they put him in a birdcage.
Yeah. Oh man. He says they don't have a sense of humor.
Right? It's great. And so they have the villains are gloating over Superman and deciding on how they're going to destroy him. Classic.
Indeed. Well, Superman makes a rope ladder with his Clark Kent uniform.
That's right, because he's got a secret pouch in his cape where he keeps his civilian clothes. And so he tears up his clothes and makes a rope and gets out the birdcage.
And then he's trying to fire this missile that will alert the Kandorians where he's at. And so here Brainiac is showing this weird multi-lighted thing. It's only lights and mirrors. That's what Luthor says, and this is how I'm going to get Superman to pay. But what it does is it hypnotizes Luthor, so Luthor will fix Brainiac and forget that Brainiac is a computer.
Right.
Which,
but it's a cool plan, and so now
that is a great plan.
Luthor thinks he has something over Brainiac. So, but the timer and stuff is removed from him. So now they're back on equal footing.
Yeah.
Or actually, Brainiac really has the edge now.
Right.
But it's great because neither one is superior to the other. Luthor pulled one on him, and now he pulled one on Luthor.
Right.
But Superman alerts the Superman emergency squad in Kandor, and so these Kandorians in Superman outfits, tiny, come to his rescue.
Yeah, they get into a spaceship, they go to 1 inch tall, and then they fly out or something. And because I guess they're like smaller than ants.
I don't know exactly the size ratio.
Because it's a big city.
Well, yeah, I guess that's true.
It's got, I mean, it's maybe microbes or something. You're talking about, I don't know how big it is, size of Portland, Oregon, or I don't know.
I don't know either. These aren't things that are specified so much, so.
Probably best it isn't.
Yeah.
But it's cool, though. So, all these little bitty Supermans come and kick butt.
Yeah.
And
they shrink Luthor and Brainiac, and then they're going to put him on trial in Kandor.
Yeah.
This is where it gets even cooler.
Yeah. Luthor is he's going to be defending Brainiac because and Brainiac, all they say is Brainiac's done. He's going to. I guess the biggest thing they're going to go after him is that the shrinking of Kandor.
Right, and there's the. I don't know if it's a minor spoiler. In the course of this, I realized the Kandorians were close to finding a way to create a space ark or something to save all of Krypton, but because Brainiac took them away, Krypton he doomed the rest of Krypton.
They had a space ark ready and a super robot.
Yeah, that was going to build more.
Fleet.
Yeah,
because they're the only ones who believe Jor-El.
Right, and we never have this established previously. So this is an important story. So, but yeah, Luthor is defending Brainiac at court, which is great.
Yeah, but Luthor says, well, hey, we saved Kandor. But it's, we would have saved ourselves, and we would have been shrunk into a bottle. So, no thanks.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, Superman is sick, and he's gonna die. So,
because of the ray or the mist or the gas or whatever they used on him. Okay.
So, he's not gonna die. He's gonna be paralyzed for the rest of his life.
Okay.
So they said, all right, Kandorans, Luthor and Brainiac says, you'll either save Superman or you can kill us, whatever. But that's your choice.
Right.
And so everybody in Kandor voted to let Superman be saved, which is cool.
So, and then Superman has to let Luthor and Brainiac go. And so they win.
Yeah, but they lose.
Yeah, they didn't destroy Superman, but they got away.
Well, that's...
In such a Marvel Comics kind of way, the bad guy gets away. Superhero isn't, totally triumphant.
Yeah. And Luthor goes to his planet, and Andorra is right there. And he looks like he's going to have a good time.
Yeah.
Brainiac says, I'm not loyal to Luthor, but hey, I might need him so I'm going to let him live. So,
right.
So, and Superman thanks Kandor and says, well, I'll get Brainiac. So,
yeah.
So that was awesome.
Yes. I mean, that wonderful, wonderful story.
You didn't know what was going to happen. There's surprises. The Luthor and Brainiac against Superman and against each other. Just really well done, and some people were thinking. And I love that when there's cleverness in it.
Yeah. I think Edmund Hamilton probably wrote, the best Superman stories. But yeah, it's terrific.
Yeah. It's kind of, I love the planet where they like Luthor. I've always loved that. What a wonderful story that was.
Oh yeah, and again, this is a pivotal moment in the Superman mythology in the Silver Age, because a lot of stuff is kind of okay, we have this mythology, but there's not a lot of things moving forward. Things stay kind of static. Well, now here's a shift. Oh, now Luthor and Brainiac, there's a relationship and an occasional partnership that has now been established, and we will revisit this, and it will always be cool.
Yeah, right. And Brainiac 5 is not related to Brainiac now.
Right.
Which is,
well, it exonerates him. He doesn't have a direct tie. He had nothing to do with the evil things that Brainiac did.
I mean, if he's a grandson of Hitler, he doesn't have anything to do with Hitler's evil.
Right, but see, if Brainiac was biological, and you were the son of Brainiac, or the Brainiacs, they were this evil force in the universe. You would be tainted by that.
Right.
Okay, but he didn't have anything to do with it. He's the son of the son of the son of the adopted.
Who saved the planet.
Right.
From the evil computer overlord.
So in the opposite sense, it's Brainiac 5 is from this great lineage. Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. So this is a 100-page super spectacular, and there's a whole slew of backup features. And the first we've got is It's a Kid Eternity story, and it's called The Count, from Kid Eternity number 3, way back in 1946. Now, I'm going to pause for a sec on this. Kid Eternity was published by Quality Comics. It wasn't a DC property until later. And they did a couple of interesting things with him. This Kid Eternity, it's no great shakes, okay?
Right.
As I'm sure we're going to talk about. But one thing that's interesting is he's this orphan who was he was killed by accident or a mistake of fate, and so he gets to return to life kind of with powers, and he has the Guardian, the Keeper, that's going to help him out with adventures in crime busting, whatever. And we'll get into some more of that. But later, once DC acquired the rights to Captain Marvel and the Marvel family, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And in the 70s, they said, okay, hey, we own Kid Eternity too from Quality, the Marvels are from Fawcett, but they tied it together by saying Freddie Freeman, who was Captain Marvel Jr., and Kid Eternity were brothers. So he's got a tie to the Marvel family.
Weird.
Yeah, so kind of cool.
Yeah, too bad it's not cooler.
Yeah, but anyway,
this is
this...
well drawn, though. This is,
Oh, yes, and...
Prince Valiant quality on some of this stuff.
It's really wonderful. Written by Joe Millard, who I don't know from Adam, but the art is... It's disputed on this story, but it's either by Mac Raboy or Pete Riss. And I lean on Mac Raboy because... And here's the other connection with Captain Marvel Jr. Mac Raboy was famous for drawing him in that series. And he also did, I think, either Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers in a syndicated strip. He did The Green Llama.
It does look like something on a good syndicated strip.
Yeah. Funny thing, Mac Raboy is pretty well loved and remembered as one of the great artists of the golden age of comics. He himself hated comic books.
Yeah.
He thought it was beneath him. He wanted to be like a serious illustrator, high art kind of guy.
Yeah.
But comics, especially him doing I think he took over at one point. I think it was the Flash Gordon or Buck Rogers strip. This paid the bills. This put money on the table, especially if you can get into working for the syndicates, regular work, you're set, man. Because that's it was, at least in the time when that mattered. Newspapers, that was the far bigger deal than doing comic book work, and you actually made really good money. So,
yeah, cool. Okay.
But yeah, let's talk about this.
All right. Rembrandt apparently knows Kid Eternity. I guess I'm the only one in the world who never heard of Kid Eternity. So.
You're not the only one in the world. I mean, he's not. It was a hit book in the golden age, but there were so many comic books at that time. I mean, the ones that survived the golden age, the handful, are the ones that people remember from there mostly. So.
Yeah. Oh, this is well drawn.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I couldn't figure out what the bald fat guy's name, but I think his name is Keep.
We calls him Keep for short, but he's the Keeper, and he's kind of Kid Eternity's like invisible guide. Nobody else sees Keep, but Kid Eternity, and they're like hanging out in heaven or the afterlife world or whatever, and Kid Eternity can summon people from history or from fiction or mythology to help him.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if what the deal was on that. Was it fiction too?
Yeah,
because I know there's a fictional character, but I'm just
which is weird.
Yeah, history and mythology.
Yeah.
Well, okay, we'll get to.
So there's some cool things about that, except he just pawns off his duties on others most of the time.
He's just a kid.
Well, right, but he does get into fisticuffs, which is cool.
Yeah, no, he beats up some. So these guys are trying to take Rembrandt's Night Watch, which is really cool painting, very important. So Kid Eternity comes up and I'll take that picture, and it starts a fight because this guy named Count.
Yeah.
He refers himself in the third person.
Oh man.
At
least he doesn't wear a cape. Or maybe that would have been better.
Maybe so, I don't know.
Yeah.
So he calls Javert. from Les Mis.
Yeah.
Les Miserables.
Yeah.
He kicks butt, Javert does, because he likes beating up thieves, but he doesn't sing, which is a good thing.
Remember, there were many versions of it before it became a musical.
I know.
It was probably a movie like 20 times over before there was a musical.
Yeah, I've never been interested in watching it. I've read Hugo.
Right.
Hunchback of Notre Dame, but it sounded like a bummer of a story. So
it is.
Oh, the Miserables. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't mind a little bit of tragedy and all that stuff, but life's short to be reading something.
I don't know, but it takes place during the French Revolution. I'm like, this and Tale of Two Cities. I'm like, yay! This is a great period to be talked about in literature.
Tale of Two Cities, and that's kind of a tragedy as well. But,
yeah.
But it was kind of cool. All right. Yeah. So Javert is kicking so much butt that Kid Eternity says, "Oh, that's too much," so he sends him away.
Yeah.
And the Count gets away. So.
Yeah, he can summon these guys or send them away like lickety-split. All he has to shout is eternity.
Right. That is useful. So he calls in Nostradamus, who gives a crazy quatrain. It's just the Count with whom was steal. Seek him not, for we return to steal. And so, what does that mean? So, let's go back to the museum and then we'll wait for him.
Right. That's probably the clearest prediction that Nostradamus ever made.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
So he's there, and the Count sees Kid Eternity, and he shoves a poisoned needle into him, and the needle breaks. Which means the needle's still stuck in him. Man, ugh. I could never be a heroine like that. The idea. I mean, I'm not afraid when I go to the doctor to get it, but the idea of stepping on a needle or something like that gives me the super creeps. So.
Right.
Oh, so the Keep is looking for him. And he finally, and where did Kid Eternity go? And so he's been knocked out. So he gets Hippocrates, the famous Greek doctor. I got someone like Dr. Kildare, somebody more modern,
right?
Yeah, somebody who knows what aspirin is.
But I think this is kind of like, I don't know. You gotta remember, this is from the 40s.
Well, Dr. Kildare was from the 40s.
Okay, well, wasn't he a fictional character?
Yes.
Well,
so is Javert.
Right, but I think Dr. Kildare was something on the radio or television or something at the time, and was still not in the public domain. You know what I mean? But
I mean, I would have gotten someone more modern.
Right.
There's got to be a doctor. Could have said, I don't know, would Dr. Watson being in the gym? I don't know. I can't think of any. Or Dr. Jekyll, maybe. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, mythology, well, he's historical, Hippocrates, but he solves the problem. So here's a Count trying to steal the Laughing Cavalier. So Kid Eternity calls the Laughing Cavalier character, and he goes with his sword and he's going to duel with him.
Yeah.
So he's almost kills him. So Kid Eternity sends him away. So Count runs, and then I think he's got a I don't know. Now he gets the discus thrower, the famous statue.
Yeah.
And the discus thrower throws a discus and hits him in the stomach, and that's about it.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the story. Keep his helper wants to have a quiet life, but Kid Eternity likes having fun. So.
Oh, and the Keep is like, he's already dead. He's got the whole afterlife. I don't know. It's just, it's weird.
I don't know what if I kind of lame. I thought.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I could. It was one of those like, oh, is this over yet? You know.
Yeah.
Like I've read a little bit of more of Kid Eternity, and it doesn't suit me personally.
No, it doesn't get any better.
Well, I don't know. It's one of those things like, gosh, couldn't this be forgotten? Like, anyway.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we've got another backup story, and it's The Time Trap, reprinted from The Atom, #3, written by Gardner Fox, art penciled by Gil Kane, and inked by Murphy Anderson. So it's The Atom
against
Kronos.
Yeah, Ray Palmer is a research scientist at Ivy University. That amused me. And he's married to...
No, he's not married to her yet.
Yeah,
to Jean Loring.
Yeah, and she's pretty. So,
she is.
So then there's David Clinton, who
looks just like Richard Nixon.
Kind of does, doesn't he?
It depends on which panel or story you look at, but there's a lot of ones where he really looks like Nixon.
Mm-hmm. He looks like an older gentleman. He's bald, so
yeah.
So Ray is about to propose, and he gives her this nice watch. Most people I think he's going to give her a nice watch and a nice ring, but
yeah.
But when he's about to, the watch breaks.
Or the clasp breaks, right?
Yeah.
So
he's got to go back to where he bought it from. So then we get the origin story of Kronos, and Kronos is in prison, and he's, well, how did I get caught? Well, look at prison. You know, at 8 o'clock I go eat, 9 o'clock I go to work, 12 o'clock we get lunch. You know, it's all regimented, and that's, and it works well. So I'm going to be the time guy, Kronos.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start my life of crime. Yeah.
And as a supervillain, all of his gimmicks and stuff are clock or time oriented.
Yeah.
Later, he would actually get some time traveling stuff going, but really now it's all just gimmicky gadgets.
Yeah. It's just some. I mean, he's got a radium watch that he uses a flashlight.
His costume is wonderfully terrible.
Yeah, he's got a bag that's shaped like a clock, which I thought was amusing. That'd actually be a good bag.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah, it looks. His mask is like a Mexican wrestler.
Yeah, a luchador thing, but he's got the hands of a clock on it, and he's got an hourglass on his chest. Big yellow cape with that candy striped pants. He's just really goofy looking. But
here he is looking at like Richard Nixon, and Ray Palmer comes in and shows off his cool clocks.
Yeah, he once paroled, he opens a clock store.
Yeah, well, I guess you like clocks, so.
But it's all clocks. You don't see things like that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not too many places that sell just one thing anymore, unless it's like a shoe store.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Ray says, "Hey, you seem to have every sort of clock but one," and that makes Kronos mad. He says, "Oh, atomic clock. We just happen to have one at the lab. Yeah, you can break into it and steal it." It was kind of.
It's leading into that.
Yeah.
I mean, Palmer does he suspect that this guy is Kronos?
No idea.
Not yet. But that's right, he'll remember later. So anyway, Kronos needs that atomic clock because this is how DC villains work.
Did you see this advertisement for House of Secrets? It's
cool house ad. Yeah.
Yeah, this young lady is her dress is being torn by evil things. It's kind of really cool looking. So
yeah. House of Secrets and House of Mystery, they had some really wonderful covers. And occasionally we're good on the inside too.
Yeah. All right.
Oh.
So Kronos goes, attacks, and grabs the to take the atomic clock. Ray Palmer, as a scientist, sees him, and so Kronos throws this hourglass, sandstorm hourglass, and it's.
The sand will keep swirling around him
until he dies.
Right.
It's going to kill him.
So, but Ray Palmer is secretly the Atom, and so he shrinks down to a size to where he can just get away from the sand.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he fights Kronos.
Yeah, man, he can make himself 180 pounds, what he weighs but so that you're really tiny and 180 pounds, you can pack a punch.
Yeah. So. And I like that. It's like having super strength. And you would think like that much weight and strength or whatever at that size, you'd probably be really fast too. You could jump really high. It would be like giving yourself superhuman strength.
And it'd be hard to shoot.
Well, yeah.
That's a great. So he's got this watch and he shoots the hands and the gear. And,
Fly off, yeah.
the buzzsaw gear. And of course, he misses him. And he gets a sock to the jaw for his efforts.
Yeah.
And he has a Roman candle. He's got a time-telling candle, which he is converting to a Roman candle. Okay.
Oh, boy.
And he knocks him out a little bit.
So Kronos actually does manage to get away, even though it looks like he's going to get beat up.
Yeah, but why doesn't he finish the atom then?
I don't know. I mean, he
was into the comic book.
Right. I mean, he was certainly willing to kill Ray Palmer. Mm-hmm. Why not the atom? I don't know. Maybe he didn't have he'd used up all his gadgets or whatever. Mm. He's got this floating
use his foot and squash him.
That's true. Well, if he's got the same weight and density as he is when he's full grown, stepping on him probably wouldn't kill him.
Yeah, but smack him with a brick would, or something, or he could have took him to his hidey hole and done something,
right?
Acid or
yeah. Kronos does have this really cool floating airship. Apparently,
it's a sundial.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that, but yeah, It's pretty cool though. So when he goes home, he puts bruises on himself to basically reveal or make it Ray Palmer suspect.
Yeah, which is kind of odd. I mean, he doesn't have bruises, so he puts bruises on, and he wants Ray Palmer because he thinks Ray Palmer. How did the Atom know that he was stealing it? So, Ray Palmer must be the Atom. This is what Kronos is thinking.
Right.
And this is true.
This is true.
Yeah. So then the Atom comes back, and what is it? He has this crazy trap. It's an Earth globe, and the sun goes over, I guess, North America, and it opens up, and there's gas, but it doesn't affect Kronos because he has nostril guards.
Okay.
So he takes Atom, puts him in his watch with a little hole in it, so he can hear what Kronos says. So when he mocks him and gives his,
and when he's monologuing.
Yeah, I couldn't think of that word.
Yeah.
What a great word.
Yeah.
So he's robbing this bank. He's got a time lock on it, and he figured out how to make time go faster on
Kronos can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty cool. And then here comes Ray Palmer, and he kicks Kronos' butt.
As Palmer, not as the Atom.
Right.
That's important.
Then he looks at his watch, and there's the Atom. So that's kind of actually confusing him. So what's going on? Did he have an Atom robot? But I guess he knocks him out, and then he goes back into the watch.
Right. But it was so quick.
And no one could see.
Right. So that was an interesting way for Ray Palmer to protect his secret identity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, Kronos goes to jail.
Right. Yeah.
Another cool house ad for the Brave and the Bold. Another great Batman and Flash team up.
Yeah, he's turned into he has two. He's good and evil in the same person.
Oh, right. Superman or Batman's having some weird thing happening to him.
Right. We got Super Chief, which is really cool.
Right. Okay.
I was shocked. I was expecting, no, another Western. But hey, this was Super Chief and Cisco Kid are the only Westerns I enjoy reading.
Wow. All the rest of them were a drag for you?
Well, I mean, no, they were okay.
Right.
But these, wow, great. I'm looking forward to them. I mean,
I'm glad you dug it. Yeah, this story is
Am I alone?
You might be. Hang on. This story is The Crowning of Super Chief. Now, it's reprinted from All-Star Western number 117, written by Gardner Fox, art by Carmine Infantino. But the question I had on my mind was, must there be a Super Chief?
Yeah.
Must there be a Superman? But
yeah.
But the readers must have thought no, because there were only 3 Super Chief stories.
Yeah, although he comes back and he's in Crisis.
I think he is, right. But I mean, in the Silver Age, I think you only have 3 appearances.
I liked it because it's pre-Columbian. There are no white men. They're all Indians. And so it shows the Indians as real people. There's villainous Indians, there's good Indians.
Right, and it doesn't have to fall into the trap of the Wild West or anything like
Right,
that.
and-
It's a Western of a different color. It's kind of like, yeah,
I thought it was interesting.
yeah. It is pretty cool.
Yeah. So his name's Flying Stag.
Yeah.
And he's the best guy of this one tribe. I think they're Algonquins, but then the Algonquins attack. So I'm not sure what tribe. They
I
might
don't know.
be Iroquois.
Well, they do have Mohawks, aren't they? Mohicans, maybe?
Iroquois. Yeah,
Or does that mean anything? I don't know.
probably not.
Okay.
What a bizarre hairstyle. Is that the most bizarre one? Reverse Mohawks are pretty weird too.
Yeah, you don't see that very often though, but
Except
yeah.
on monks, I guess, or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
And the Egyptian forelock, is that, it's just like a mohawk, but it's just one little circle of hair coming out of you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Will Brenner had that. And that's
Did he?
Yeah, and not for real life.
Oh, and The King and I, right?
Well, no, and Ten Commandments.
Oh, that's right, Ten Commandments.
What a great movie.
Right. The King and I. He was totally bald in that.
Yeah, and that's a great movie too. I love Yul Brynner.
Oh, he was great.
But it's a goofy haircut, but it's kind of it's neat.
So what's going on with Flying Stag?
Okay, the big chief of all the tribes dies, so they send out a runner to, all right, come on, send your best guy, and we'll see who's going to be the big chief. And White Fawn is really proud of. She likes Flying Stag? Is that his name?
Yeah.
And they're going to get married. And
Yay.
White Fawn's pretty, and Flying Stag is nice, and he's brave and bold and all that. So he's a great hero. So there's 3 other tribes, and they don't like Flying Stag because he's going to win. So they build.
Because they don't want him to be like the supreme chief or whatever.
Yeah, they're they want one of themselves to be it.
Right. So they set a trap for him, and he falls into this pitfall.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
But they're dumb because they didn't put spikes down in it.
They put a rock to break his fall and break his neck, but it didn't work.
Right.
So he starts burning, makes a fire, and calls him Manitou.
Right.
It's an Algonquin word.
Right.
And the Manitou tells
And an
him,
excellent Venom song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, no Venom, I don't think.
Venom's pretty rad. They were kind of like the beginning of like thrash speed metal kind of thing. Really cool.
Right. So he is giving Manitou talks to him. It's a really cool sequence too. Really well done. His strength will be 1,000 times of the bear. Your speed will be greater than the swiftest deer. Your leaping prowess beyond the wolf.
Yeah.
Okay, so Manitou sends him out, gives him this amulet made of asteroid.
Which is awesome.
Or meteor or whatever. So it only lasts about an hour.
Right. But it'd give him superpowers for an hour. And he wears this cool buffalo headdress / mask.
Yeah, he kills the buffalo to, I'm not sure why, buffalo mask. And so Woyane is the super chief, big chief.
Right.
His name is going to be Super Chief. That's his, and his alter ego is Flying Stag.
Yeah.
So he just kicks butt at he shoots arrows.
And he wrestles a mountain lion.
But he does this as Flying Stag, not as Super Chief. So he doesn't cheat.
Right.
It's just cool. So the other 3 guys who are going to lose, they're really ticked off.
Right.
So this is what I like. They are diabolically evil.
Right.
They're going to have a big rock slide and hit the village. They're going to start a forest fire, and they're going to start a war. I mean, I don't know you could be more evil.
Yeah, that's pretty, yeah, I'd say that's evil.
Yeah, and all the same time.
Yeah.
So, all right. So he gets the power. I don't know how the power I guess it just begins to glow.
Sure.
I don't know. So he...
And he's wearing it around his chest. It's touching his bare skin. Maybe that has something to do with it.
I don't know why it begins to glow. Does he call for it, or just happens to know his danger? I don't know.
I don't know.
So he takes the rocks and just bats them away, and which is kind of cool.
Right, and there's a fire,
Mm-hmm.
and he uses his powers to divert a river to put it out, which is cool.
Yeah. Very Hercules-esque.
Yeah.
And now his powers fade, and here comes all the other tribe.
Yeah.
So he makes these catapults and beats the crap out of them. So,
Right.
which is really cool.
Yeah.
And he finds out that those 3 guys are the evil clan chiefs. He sends them out for a 3-moon period, 3 months, I guess. And none shall feed you, none shall protect you, now be gone. That's pretty. 3 months. Well, I guess you can die in 3 months.
You can, but it's not like they're like unable to live off the land, you know.
Yeah. I mean, if it's wintertime, it'd be one thing. If it's in Death Valley, it'd be another thing.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't have the specifics of that.
Yeah.
So.
But living in the forest is very difficult. We do so, in modern age, we got coolers and tents and all that stuff, but it's dangerous.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. It was pretty cool. Oh, he can't marry his girlfriend because
he disappeared and didn't compete in the thing.
right.
He competed as Super Chief or with the Super Chief mask.
Right. She can only marry Super Chief, but if he marries her, then how does he keep his secret identity?
Yeah, so it's very classic DC Comics. The only thing that's kind of like not so good about Super Chief is the mask is so big and it covers his whole face. There's no facial expressions available to him.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be.
Yeah.
It's.
He should have did something like put on glasses or something. Yeah. I think later on he does marry her.
Oh, okay. You did some additional research.
But yeah, I don't know. They say they're Algonquins, but the other tribe was Algonquins who attacked them. So I don't know.
I also don't know.
I don't know. It was fun. It was a nice view of a different culture.
Yeah.
Jeff liked.
Cool.
Airwave. Jeff no like.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the next backup. Yeah, I'll agree with you. We've got an Airwave story, and it's called "The Adventures of the Shooting Spooks." It's a reprint from Detective Comics number 66, way back in 1942. Written by Murray Boltinoff, art by Lee Harris, penciling, and Charles Paris, inks. Yeah, this is a backup feature, in Batman's magazine, or one of his 2 titles at the time. But I don't like Airwave. I think it's dumb that a superhero just transports himself or communicates through the radio. I realize in the 40s the radio was super cool and interesting.
Yeah, I wonder, 20 years from now, all of our movies with gotta have a micro disc and all that stuff. The computers, it's boo. It probably will. It's already getting old hat. With the floppy disk before and the microfilm, and the microfilm the 50s and 60s now, it's nobody wants to use microfilm.
Right, but even if you watch a 60s spy movie and you're trying to get the microfilm, that's cool and it works in a perfect, it's like a perfect time capsule of we're set there. This is where this is set. But in the Airwave has the power to transmit radio waves and communicate with people anywhere. Yeah, it's called the internet, or
the telephone or something.
Right, it's not that interesting.
It's not. I don't think because it's old hat. It's bad. It's just lame. It's just I can communicate. He does have this parrot who goes around saying, this is the one with the parrot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. He goes around saying, mangling old sayings, which is kind of cool. I like the parrot more than anybody else.
Yeah, but Airwave, I think he's Larry Jordan, and he's like the uncle of Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, which would come much later, obviously. But then you remember Hal's nephew, also named Hal Jordan, is like the son or grandson of the original Airwave. Remember we read that story with Hal Jordan and the CBs?
Oh, yeah.
And it sucked. But that was Green Lantern number 100.
Yeah. This is very golden agey.
Yeah. Apparently people like Lee Harris's art. I'm not really a fan. You know,
the three ghosts together is kind of cool looking here.
Yeah.
And the ghost going after the pair is kind of cool, but the rest of it is the emotions of the people are exaggerated and vaudevillian.
Yeah.
And it just there's some genius here, but a lot of it's meh.
Yeah. But let's begin with the beginning of this story. I gotta say, you know, Golden Age stuff there's just so much of it, and there is terrific, wonderful stuff. This doesn't fall into that category, though. I think, you know, it's the Golden Age. It's a boom time for the industry because it was young, but at the same time, there's such a glut of material. You really have to dig for the quality.
Oh, Sturgeon's Law, 95% of everything's crap.
Right.
Certainly true of comics.
But I think if you go to the Silver Age, the reverse is true. 95% of everything is great.
Are good.
Yeah. And the Bronze Age is pretty much like that, too.
Mm-hmm.
Well, less so.
Yeah.
But Anyway.
All right, so the DA gets shot, DA Cole. These ghosts kill him. Airwave comes and he gets beaten up. Static helps with the fan.
Static is the parrot.
Yeah. I like Static. Yeah. It's an ill wind that speaks louder than words. Okay, that's what he does, and that's
so these ghosts
only entertaining thing about the comic.
So the ghosts aren't really ghosts; they're guys dressed as ghosts.
Right.
So it's like Scooby-Doo.
Right.
Before Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. So he slips out of Airwave's costume, and so it's Jordan is there, and the cops comes and says, "What's his dead body here?" How do you know about him? Airwave called me too. And so they arrest him.
Yeah, because he's there with the body, and
which was kind of interesting.
Well, and they used Larry Jordan's gun.
That's it. Yeah, and his gun is actually missing.
Yeah. So yeah.
So
Larry Jordan's in jail.
Yeah, Static comes and helps him steal the keys and get out. He finds out where this dirty Lennon is.
With eye holes cut, so he knows it's the bad guys.
Actually, I don't... Are there eye holes?
I see them.
Smells like... Oh, there they are.
Yeah. So anyway, Airwave is on the case, and oh boy.
Yeah, and he calls the laundry, and he has to promise to sign the... give the laundryman his autograph.
Right. Yeah.
So he goes to an arcade with pinball machines and all, and starts kicking butt with that big hammer and all this stuff, and figures out it was a guy at the office who stole his gun because the DA thought he was a crook.
Yeah. So he exonerates his secret identity, Larry Jordan, and then he becomes the new DA because the original DA is dead.
Yeah.
So this is an important, pivotal moment for Airwave.
Yeah, and a boring one for the reader.
Yeah.
He's got a pencil mustache, which usually means you're evil.
Yeah, but this I think he just means like he's supposed to be perceived as a weenie or whatever. But it's interesting. The Airwave doesn't have a mustache.
Ooh, so how
does
he wear a fake mustache?
False mustache? That's very strange.
Because especially it'd be okay. Because it'd fall off, you know.
Yeah.
And then you forget about it.
Yeah, your mustache fell off in your glass.
Although Superman could forget his glasses too, I guess.
Well, maybe. Except, I don't know. Doesn't he have a super memory?
Yeah.
So
along with his super sense of humor.
Yeah. But anyway, our next backup story is something a little more interesting. It's called The Super Motorized Menace. It's a reprint from Mystery in Space number 89. written by Gardner Fox, with art by Murphy Anderson. And it's a Hawkman story.
Mm-hmm. I haven't read many of his. I think we only read one, right?
Maybe one or two, not too many.
That's the only ones I've read. I never read one anywhere else.
Right.
I think he may have been a bit character in something.
Yeah.
All
Although
right.
I think Hawkman is cool.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, talks to birds and flies.
And he's from another planet.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay, fine.
I'm not... I was underwhelmed.
Not so much. This story is not amazing, but let's talk about it anyway.
Okay.
There's this guy with a souped-up motorcycle who's
Yeah.
committing crimes.
He must be one of the 1%ers. You know about that, right?
Yeah.
All right, he steals this van. He some kind of noise on his motorcycle makes the tires go off, and the guards spill out. He comes in, he steals all these miniature Christus miniature
What?
paintings.
Oh, painting.
Down for the Midway City Museum.
Oh,
I mean, the problem with riding a motorcycle is you can't carry that much.
right. But in the Midway City Museum, this is going to bring Carter Hall, alias, or Hawkman, alias Carter Hall, into the story.
Yeah.
Because he's the curator there.
Right, but here comes this cub reporter. Well, the cub reporter is 15 years old. Or something.
Right,
I never knew
right.
that somebody-
There's something suspicious about this already.
But he's got a cool car. It is awesome looking.
Yeah.
Man. And he looks like a nice guy. Maybe.
Hmm.
So, okay, what's this girl's name? It's Mavis Trent.
She just works at the museum.
Yeah, and so he tells her that these things are missing. She's real concerned. So, how about a nice picture? So she gets him a glamour shot, which is kind of cool and funny. So,
Yeah.
Oh, so here comes
Carter Hall
Carter Hall
and Shayera Hall, who are
How do you pronounce
Hawkman.
that, Shire?
Shayera.
Yeah.
And they are Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
Yeah, and Shira asked Mavis, "What did you do to get in the newspaper?" And so she tells about what happened.
Yeah.
I just, they don't. Shira does not like Mavis.
Nope. I think she's kind of got her eye on Carter.
No,
But-
Mavis does. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Shira does because she's his husband.
Yeah, right.
So they get in their flying outfits. Okay.
Did you know that the wings aren't what make them fly?
Really?
It's the wings help them guide them in flight, but it's the nth metal is this stuff in their belts that allows them to fly. The wings are just to kind
okay.
of guide them.
All right. I did not know that.
Yeah.
So they're tracking him, and they see oil tracks and drops, so they can tell which way his direction is going, which
Yeah.
is kind of clever.
Sure.
But it's going over a highway, so they lose the trail. So they ask their bird friends to look for them, and they tell them that one of the that the guy's going to. They see him. So Hawkman follows him, and I don't know how this goober does this, but he has a tornado, and it sucks.
It's just a gadget. He creates this tornado from the motorcycle. Again, he's got gadgets. That's how high tech on his motorbike.
So, and then while he's dragging him in a tornado, he blinds this guy who's carrying something, carrying a payroll, I think.
Mm-hmm.
The guy goes off the cliff. Well, no, he wrecks. Our motorcyclist gets the monies,
Yeah.
and then he jumps off the motorcycle, and it goes over a cliff.
Dragging Hawkman.
Yeah, which is kind of, wow.
Yeah,
You must be able to afford a bunch of motorcycles.
I guess. But thing is, once the motorcycle hits the ground, wouldn't the whirlwind or whatever dissipate and free Hawkman?
Yeah, but I guess. Yeah, you
Would he smack the ground with the
terminal velocity and all that
Yeah,
stuff?
maybe.
Yeah.
Or the centrifugal force or whatever the
Right.
pull, the initial.
Yeah. And it might
pull,
be.
the inertia.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe, and also you're being sucked around on tornadoes. You're gonna be dizzy. And
Yeah.
You may not know what's up or down.
Right. So there's a suction element to this whirlwind in the tailpipe of the motorcycle.
Yeah.
So Hawkman takes off his boot and lets it get sucked into the thing and jam it up.
Yeah, he throws it down, and that's the suck element. Because that's stupid.
It is, and then also Hawkman's flying around without a shoe for a minute.
Yeah.
And then he gets it back, and then he goes after the guy. But
yeah, he got away just in time. So he finds where he follows the trail and finds out where the bad guy goes. And the bad guy has got some kind of weird helmet. Looks like a French tank helmet.
sure, it is weird.
But Hawkman is constantly being seen. He's never sneaks up on anybody.
Well, how can you? You got this big pair of wings.
But flying is kind of quiet.
Yeah.
But it should be more quiet.
I don't know.
So the guy's ready for him, and he's got this super fan that's going to blast him. So what Hawkman does is takes the whole door and just smashes into them. So he brings him in, and it's the Cub reporter.
Oh. So they didn't just introduce that guy for no reason, and so it was all a gag. A trick. He had the Cub reporter angle was a ruse to kind of
get information or something.
Yeah. Anyway, he goes to jail.
All right.
The end. So we opened this episode and this issue with probably one of the greatest Superman stories with his two greatest foes, and now we've got a Superman story with his absolute lamest enemy, the Prankster.
Yeah, but it's a fun one. I enjoyed it. So.
Okay. I just think he's like the Joker with like 0 balls or 0 impact. You know?
Yeah, I think that too. I think, Prankster is not my favorite. I'm not really worried about the Prankster taking over the world. Brainiac and Luthor are dangerous. But, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's a reason. Although he, and the man who, whatever happened to Man of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Him and the Toy Maker.
The Toyman, yeah.
Toyman. Destroy his alter ego in disguise, so it shows the world who the Superman is Clark Kent.
Interesting that they would be the ones.
Yeah, I guess they had to use them somehow, and that's the only thing they're capable of.
Yeah. But I can see Alan Moore wanting to incorporate all of Superman's classic foes in that story, and I think he does.
Yeah.
And I guess Prankster and Toyman are part of that.
Right.
Like them or not, which I don't. But
yeah,
the Toyman is okay, but I really don't like the Prankster.
Well, he's got a couple of decent ideas.
Yeah.
Actually, I would love to do some of them if I had the money.
Sure.
And the evilness. But.
Right. Well, let's get into this. This is the Prankster's Greatest Role, reprinted from Superman number 87, and it was written by Bill Woolfolk with art by Al Faustino.
What a great name, Al Faustino. That can't be right. I mean, that can't be his real name, is it?
I think it is.
Oh, interesting.
But, I mean, I could be wrong. He just passed away this year, I think.
Oh.
And he was the last living Gold or Silver Age Superman artist.
Oh, wow.
So.
Okay, all right. Clark has to play Superman, which is kind of cool.
In a play or something.
Yeah, and you play with the Prankster as a bad guy.
And it's someone playing the Prankster as well.
Yeah, the original actor got sick, and they put the costume on Clark, and Clark is not big enough for him. And they laugh at him. So he has some makeup, so it doesn't look exactly like Superman.
Right.
And
but anyway, the show makes a mockery of the Prankster, and the real Prankster gets pissed and says, "Well, I'm gonna show them, and I'll."
He has some interesting things. He's got to watch out because he's Superman, but he can't act. He's got to act like Clark Kent. And they say, "Well, there's that paper mache piano you're supposed to pick up." So he goes to pick up the piano, and it's the real piano.
Right.
And I thought that was kind of cool. So,
yeah.
Got problems, and that's the cool thing about Superman is not that he solves things. He solves things without letting people know he's Superman.
Oh, right, and
that's fun.
And I was saying this to someone I had a argue. People always argue, "Oh, Superman, he's so overpowered, you can never worry about him." Well, true, but it's putting him in situations where he has to be clever and use his powers in interesting ways. The excitement is figuring is not, oh, is Superman going to be okay? It's how is he going to solve this problem?
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it entertaining read. I mean, he's totally different than any other character in fiction. It's not about relating to him because he tries to connect to us.
Hey, speak for yourself.
Okay.
No, but yeah.
Well,
I'm joking. Yeah.
I'm just thinking that people usually argue against, oh, Superman's lame, and I'm like, you're missing the point entirely.
Yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
but anyway.
I love Superman.
Oh, so do I.
Right. So the prankster, his great plan is to hire these thugs and to throw tomatoes and Rotten Tomatoes and all that stuff at him. And so Superman goes out and spins the stage because it's a circular thing you can spin, and he just and the air from the spinning stage throws tomatoes and eggs back at them, which is kind of cool.
Right.
So, but he figures out some excuse because he gets caught up in the mechanism. That's how it happens.
Mm.
Oh, so the prankster is really ticked off about that. So they're going to play in this some little town. I can't remember, Dullville, Smallville.
Sure. Are you making a joke? Is it?
No. It says something LLville.
Oh, it's probably Smallville. So
there's this bridge. So there's only one bridge to the town. So he weakens it. So the
prankster does.
The prankster does. So Superman's got to figure out a way to save everybody. So but
without being Superman.
Right. And he's wrapping a rope around, and it's kind of neat.
He has to clumsily solve the problem because he's supposed to be like Clark did it, not Superman. And he's wearing the Superman costume. Mm-hmm. So that is interesting.
Right. And so Soups, Nicks, Pranks, Hicks, Tricks. You never heard that? Sticks, Nicks, Hicks, Picks.
I think so, maybe.
Yeah, so that's the best I could do.
Okay.
So that's a great title. Not the best title. The best newspaper headline is "Headless Body Found in Topless Bar."
Oh my gosh.
That's a
real thing you saw?
That's a real
headline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wiki it. So.
I will.
Okay. All right. So I don't know. One thing. Here's a prankster, and he falls in the swamp, and Superman doesn't grab him. Well, that's right, he can't grab him because he's Clark Kent and dressed in Superman. Alright. So they're finally going to get him. Prankster, this is it. He's gonna go into the play and shoot everybody and rob them.
Wow.
So, and he has this curtain come down, so this is a stick-up. Remain in your seats. And he's grinning with his one-tooth grin. That's pretty...
yeah.
That's kind of Jokerish, but... So, Clark makes mistakes, and then, he makes mistakes that make a barrel fall over the prankster's head.
Right.
He's having a good time, I think.
Yeah.
And and Superman makes this cage, and he makes himself... Superman saves the day.
Yeah.
Lois says, "Oh, you were Clark Kent all this time," and that's the end because we are missing the last page.
Sorry, that's what happens sometimes with these coverless books. Sometimes
you should get your $1 back.
I don't know, but look, I wasn't gonna. Usually, if I'm missing pages, I'll skip an issue.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't want to skip that Luthor and Brainiac story, so I was like, whatever, we'll miss the last page or two of this stupid prankster story. You know Superman wins.
I know, but how does he do it?
I don't know.
Is it a Superman robot? Or...
To my archives, Elaine. I don't know. This is a 50s story, so it probably predates the Superman robots.
Oh.
This is it's just...
Oh, so now we'll never know.
Oh, well.
So
how will we sleep at night? So... yeah.
Yeah. That was the first Superman story was awesome, and I enjoyed this. It's not great, but it was fun.
Sure.
And Prankster is, I don't know, he's getting his comeuppance, and that's fun.
Yeah.
Lois is being Lois,
Right.
Annoying, and actually Homer Simpson's. Why does he like Lois Lane? Why doesn't he go after Wonder Woman? Why does he like? Man, she's such a,
I don't know. Sometimes you like what doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Oh man. But all right. I liked the Big Chief. Oh,
Super Chief?
Super Chief, which is the name of a train and all this stuff. So I guess I got the name from that. But little else in this, but it was cool. I had a fun time. Man, that was a blast.
Oh, good.
But this time, I am going to get rid of my nemesis once and for all. I am going to destroy Superman.
That was that wonderful panel of Luthor in that lead story.
Yeah, that was cool.
All right, I'm going to abruptly end the show now. Well, wait, you want to talk about the books we have next week? You want to preview
Why
that?
not?
Okay.
Okay, man. The Sun Giant.
That's
Dr.
right.
Solar.
Dr. Solar, Man of the Atom number 10 and 11.
Yeah, the day Solar died. Okay.
Spoiler alert, it's not the last issue of the series.
No. Trag and the Sky Gods. The day the Earth thundered.
That's right, we have Trag of the Sky Gods number 2 and 4.
Now we have a cover on this. It's really cool looking. Wow.
Yeah.
Very well done.
Yeah.
Another Trag and Project Saberfang. Yeah.
Trag and the Sky Gods, I'll give a little bit. It's space aliens and cavemen and dinosaurs.
Well, you got all good things in the world.
That's right.
All right. Turok, Son of Stone.
Yeah, that's right. We have several issues of Turok to talk about next week.
Frozen Fear and the Arrow of Fear.
Yes, number 38, 40, and 98 of Turok, Son of Stone.
I don't know why this is where honkers fear to go.
Because in the Turok book, all dinosaurs are called honkers. All of
Yeah,
them.
that makes them real scary, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. For crying, that's stupid. Because you would make a difference between plant-eating dinosaurs and meat-eating dinosaurs.
Well, we'll
Just
read
would.
them and we'll see, okay?
Okay. Brother of the Spear, Harvest of Fear. Man, I'm afraid of these. Man,
Man.
they're all full of fear.
Yeah, I think these are so. Yeah, Brothers of the Spear number 12 is what we have, but
Hail,
yeah, go.
Hail, Abba Zulu.
Yeah, we'll learn about that next week. But so all our books next week. So the next 2 episodes will be Gold Key comics. So it's just kind of a spotlight on Gold Key, and then we'll get back to our kind of our regular thing. I think it's sometimes to just throw a little curveball out there. Yeah, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, so lovely.